Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Tech with Yashwant. In this video, we are going to understand Apache Kafka and I'm going to cover all the important things that are required for you to understand Kafka in general. And this is going to be the part 1, and in part 2, I'm going to cover other parts where we will be discussing the components of Apache Kafka, the architecture of Kafka and things like that. So let's get started. All right. As you can see on screen, when it comes to data event streaming, Apache Kafka is a de facto standard. It's an open source distributed system consisting of servers and clients. Apache Kafka is used primarily to build real-time data streaming pipelines. And Apache Kafka is used by thousands of world's leading organizations for high performance data pipelines, streaming analytics, data integration, and many other vital applications in general, right? So first, let's understand what are the data integration challenges that we have currently, right? As you can see on screen, a typical business, if you consider any of the business, they collect data through a variety of applications. It can be from the accounting team, the billing team, the CRM dashboard team, the websites, the clickstream websites. Each of these applications have their own processes for data input and update. So in order to get a unified view of businesses or engineers' activity, they will have to develop an integration between these different applications. The direct integration can result in a complicated solution. As you can see on screen, we have 4 different source systems. Let's say one is from accounting team, one is from the billing team, one is from the dashboard team, and the other one is from the website team. So let's assume that this data is being synced or being sent into another system that let's call that as a target system. So from this source system, the data will move to this, and also this. Similarly, if you want to do the same thing for 4 source systems and get the data sunk in 4 target systems, that is going to be a complex architecture. And along with this complexity, we also have difficulties around protocols. So how the data is transported, whether you're going to use TCP, HTTP, REST, FTP or JDBC, like whatever the protocols we have, the difficulties are present in that as well. Again, the second one would be the data format itself. So how the data is passed, whether are you going to send the binary data, CSV, JSON or Avro. The format of the data is very, very crucial when it comes to sending or streaming the data. The next one is data schema and evolution. So how the data is shaped and it may change in future as well. So let's assume that today we are receiving order ID, transaction ID and a user ID. But in future, during a sale, we might offer another field called discount. So in that situation, the format of the data itself is evolving. Then how do you handle that? So all these are challenges when it comes to data integration. Now, with Apache Kafka, we can actually resolve or rescue this entire issue. With Apache Kafka as a data integration layer, data sources will publish their data to Apache Kafka and target system will source their data from Apache Kafka. As you can see, the restructuring of the architecture, you have the same source systems, you have the same target systems, but Apache Kafka is sitting in between in the data integration layer. The source is producing the data to Kafka and the target system is consuming from the Kafka itself directly. Okay, so this decouples source data streams and target systems, allowing for a simplified data integration solution, as you can see in the diagram itself. Now, what is a data stream? So I'm using this term called data stream a lot, right? So now let's understand what's a data stream in Apache Kafka. A data stream is typically thought of as a potentially unbounded sequence of data. So the name streaming is used because we are interested in the data being accessible as soon as it is produced, right? So each of these applications in an organization where data is created is a potential data stream creator. So we have website events, that's a data stream creator. pricing data, it's a data stream creator, financial data, user interaction, all these are data stream creators. So the data created as part of data streams are typically small. The data throughput to data streams is highly variable. So some streams will receive tens and thousands of records per second. Like, let's assume that you are streaming, a match between final match between India versus Australia. So then you will get a lot of data. You will receive tens and thousands of records per second. And in some time you will only receive 1 or 2 records per hour, right? So when the viewers are less, right? In that scenario, you will receive 1 or 2 records per second or something like that. So Apache Kafka is used to store these data streams, which are also called as topics. We are going to talk a lot about topics and the different components of Kafka in the next video. I am targeting 50 likes on this video. If I cross 50 likes, I will create another video where I will explain all the different components of Apache Kafka. All right. So now think about, topics as where you will store these data streams, which then allows systems to perform stream processing. You might ask me, what is stream processing? It's an act of performing continual calculations on a potentially endless and constantly evolving source of data, right? So you will continuously process the data. And once the stream is processed and stored in Apache Kafka, it may be transferred to another system. It can be a database, it can be Postgres, or whatever the database that you are using, right? So that's how things work. Now, another good question you might ask me is, why should a company use Apache Kafka, right? As soon as a company has a real-time data streaming needs, a streaming platform must be in the place, right? So they should have a streaming platform. Apache Kafka is one of the most popular data streaming platforms in the industry today, being used by more than 80% of Fortune 100 companies. It is one of the top performing open source projects, right? So Kafka provides a simple message queue interface on top of its append only log structured storage medium. It stores a log of events. So the data is distributed to multiple nodes. And Kafka is highly scalable and fault tolerant to node loss, right? So for all these reasons, many companies like Netflix, Uber, all of them have started using Apache Kafka. Not right now, but they have started using Kafka from a long ago, right? So Kafka has been deployed in sizes ranging from just one node to thousands of nodes, right? It's used extensively in production workloads in companies such as Netflix, Apple, Uber, Airbnb, and in addition to LinkedIn as well. So the creators of Kafka left LinkedIn to form their own company called Confluent, so to focus full-time on Kafka and its ecosystem. Currently, Apache Kafka is now an open source project, and it's maintained by Confluent and other companies as well. Now let's talk a little bit on the Kafka history side, right? So Kafka was created at LinkedIn to service internal stream processing requirements that could not be met with the traditional messaging queue systems that they had at that moment. I think it was founded in 2014, if I'm not wrong. And its first version was released in January 2011, right? So that was when the first commit of Kafka came into the play. And Kafka quickly gained popularity. And since then, it has become one of the most popular projects in Apache Foundation. The project is now mainly maintained by Confluent, which I told you, with help from other companies such as IBM, Netflix, and so on, right? So there are many companies who are using that. Now, you might ask me, like, what are the use cases of Apache Kafka? So the use cases of Apache Kafka are many, and these includes stream processing for different applications. Kafka makes up the storage mechanism for some of the prominent stream processing frameworks like Apache Flink. So it's a main pillar over there. So if you ask me what are the use cases, it's used as a messaging system. It's used as a activity tracking. It gathers metrics from many different locations for IoT based devices. You will use it for application log analysis, decoupling of system dependencies, and you will use it if you want to integrate with big data technologies like Spark, Flink, Hadoop, and so on. You will use it for event sourcing store and a lot more as well. Now let's take an example of Uber and Netflix, right? So how Kafka is concretely being used within the industry right now. So Apache Kafka is widely used in industry, and some of the use cases are just highlighted here. It doesn't mean that these are the only two organizations using it, right? So first, let's understand Netflix, right? So Netflix has integrated Kafka as the core component of their data streaming platform. So they refer to it as a Keystone project pipeline internally, and as part of Netflix Keystone project, Kafka handles billions of events a day, right? So just to give you an idea about a huge amount of data that Kafka can handle, Netflix sends about 500 billion events and 1.3 petabytes of data per day in Kafka. So unknown to many, Kafka at core of its lot of services we enjoy, like it be it Uber, Netflix, LinkedIn, or any other large tech companies, it's the core of all these services, right? So without Kafka, Netflix, Uber, and all these companies, they won't work at all. And coming to Uber, Uber uses Kafka extensively in their real-time pricing pipeline. Kafka is a backbone through which a significant portion of events are communicated to the different stream processing calculations. So the speed, the flexibility of the speed and the flexibility of Kafka allows Uber to adjust their pricing models to constantly evolving events in real world, like number of available drivers and their positions, their weather and other events, right? Certainly you will have a lot of information on that, and bill users to the right amount to manage offer on and demand as well. So that's how Uber is utilizing Kafka today. And that's all I had for this video. Like I'll make sure to provide the link to this illustration in the description box. Probably I will also request you to comment on this video if you want this link for your reference. Also the part 2, I will be covering a definition of core Apache Kafka concepts, like broker, what's a topic, what's a producer, and all these things, right? So as this video is getting long enough, so I'll stop it here and I'll see you in the next one.